What's legal that should be illegal? MLMs and telemarketers. My parents got sucked into a MLM scheme and it's bleeding them dry. Telemarketers can change their number to look like something else. My grandmother got tricked by this because she thought it was the number of someone she knew and they tried to weasel a couple grand out of her. The media releasing the full identity, with pictures, of people merely accused of a crime. It bothers me most with 6 crimes. A life can be ruined by a law enforcement mistake. Releasing the identity of lottery winners. Something that is supposed to be good is ruined by everyone's greed. Changing the wording in bills or earmarking at the last minute to sneak something into law. I think any changes whatsoever should reset a clock that delays voting on passing any bill so that the citizens have time to review and state their case for or against. Paper advertisements in the mail. Such a waste. The ability to purchase mass amounts of event tickets by scalpers. Car horn and siren noises in radio commercials. Talking on a cell phone and driving is legal in my state. My best friend is the worst person who does this. I can't believe she hasn't wrecked yet. She just talks and swerves and pays no attention to the road. Robocalls. I hear daily about my car's warranty expiring and my file is going to be closed forever if I don't act now. Close the file already. Along with that, phone number spoofing on caller ID. I've been getting more and more of these daily. It's become futile using number blocking apps. You know there's TV preachers who keep asking for money and clearly are using it on themselves. That. Not using the Oxford comma. Complaining about grammar on the internet and hypocrisy. Being a paparazzo. Aside from the taking pictures in public part, everything they do is illegal if done to regular people. It's stalking and harassment. I don't understand why they are allowed to get away with it just because their victims are famous. Convenience fees for me to pay my bills online. I understand that at normal locations the transnational fees are baked into the sale. When I buy $20 of groceries and swipe my card, some amount of that is going to pay the vendor cost for that transaction. But it's insulting as hell when I'm trying to pay my electric bill and they charge me a $10 ducking fee to pay it online. This is 2018. Paying online should be the norm, not considered convenient. Knowingly giving somebody AIDS without telling them is legal in California. Giving somebody a plastic straw without them asking is what they want to make illegal. California is full on paste eating level of retarded. You know when they are doing road work but they pause for a week and just throw down steel plates that chew up your tires and cause you to lose traction? Well, when I am Supreme Lord Emperor of the world, if you start road work you must have a full crew working 24/7 until the road work is complete. Failure to comply will result in you being volunteered for medical experiments. I was originally thinking summary execution, but I figured this way society benefits a little more. Large financial donations to political campaigns. Privatize prisons because of how exploitative they are and politicians getting money from major corporations. By the way, the Gov classifies other illegal substances. I would say that alcohol should be illegal. Marriage for anyone under the age of 18. Minors can currently be married with parental consent in certain areas. I can only imagine these marriages happen due to pregnancy, pedophile predation, or money, all of which are terrible reasons to get married. Yes, I believe shotgun weddings are a bad thing. Child support without marriage is better than growing up in a household where wife and husband hate each other. Driving slow in the left lane. Puppy mills aren't illegal in most states. Having our internet slowed down by greedy CEOs. Any branch of the government that regulates itself. I got fined more than my annual income because a tree fell during the worst storm I've ever seen here. The tree knocked down a shared fence and several other trees in other yards knocked down the power lines. Within hours the city code enforcement came out and wrote me up. They actually came out, knocked down another fence in order to take pictures of the damage and fined me because it's illegal to have storm damage during a storm. I nearly lost my house over it. They have laws that say you can't do anything about it unless you meet all their rules for complaining. They did the same thing because they said my grass doesn't grow fast enough. They measure the rate of growth over a 2-week period and fined me thousands because they said my grass wasn't growing fast enough. They still won't tell me what speed grass is required to grow. Those quick cash loan places. It's insane. Borrow $1,000, pay back $1,500. Doctors getting paid commission to sell pills. Robocalls with a recorded message that this is my final notice about my student loan or car warranty, or any robocall. If someone wants to call me and offer their goods or services, fine. But dial the phone yourself and talk to me. Any website collecting data on a user for profit without explicitly and plainly explaining what data is being collected and why they are doing it. Also, any site that does this should also be forced to have an opt-out option upon sign up with no unnecessary penalties for doing so. Buying things from overseas countries where slavery is legal, importing those products to the US and selling them for cheap. Doubly so if the companies use child slave labor. Looking at you. Hershey, Nike, Gap, Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, Nestle, and probably 24 others. Sneaking it into bills that have absolutely nothing to do with the bill, or just changing a bill without some span of time before it can be voted on. Add something an hour, change something after submitting it, need to publicly publish it, wait a week. Being able to go ahead and have more kids when you'd had children taken away from you due to abuse and or neglect. Maybe it's already illegal, but laws against bicycles riding on the wrong side should be enforced. Civil forfeiture. I cannot understand how this is even remotely legal. Forcing someone suicidal to get help. Or, if you absolutely need to force it, there shouldn't be a single penny that the attempter is asked to pay. Suicide doesn't infringe on anyone else's rights. So why should someone have to pay for not breaking the law? People not using their blinker when changing lanes. Also, people that forget their blinker is on and let that thing click for like 10 miles. Limiting people's freedoms by passing frivolous laws. Restricting people from doing what they want based on average opinion from the masses. So long as it doesn't harm anyone other than themselves. That choice is theirs. Not vaccinating your children, absent any officially certified allergies to ingredients in the vaccine. Deliberately leaving out important details when reporting news of any kind, mostly because it's a scapegoat to change how an event is perceived without directly lying. So that way they can say they didn't lie. Loopholes like that make me angry. Texting while driving everywhere. I know it's illegal in some places already. Commercials on TV with much louder volume than the program you are watching. College recruiter calls. So annoying and they won't stop calling. Authoritarian people who want to make so many things illegal. The ability to buy a business, load it up with debt, cut yourself a nice paycheck from it, then fold the company, wash your hands of the mess and do it all over again. Employers not informing employees of their schedules at least a week in advance. While some jobs have an on-call nature, many don't. And without a steady schedule it makes it near impossible to plan the rest of your life around it. Circumcision. Of course, unless it's medically needed or the choice of an adult. Being able to serve for more than 2 periods in Germany as Chancellor or President, or more than 8 years in any of the other of the 4 highest political offices. President of Germany, 5 years term. President of the Bundestag, Chancellor, 4 years term. President of the Bundesrat. Propagation of false reports or news statements with the intent to manipulate people or stocks, that is. The falsely exaggerated and non-standard CTS Labs report on AMD processors during which AMD saw suspicious trading of their stock. States that allow rapists to sue for custody and visitation. There are, I believe, 7 states that currently still allow this. That it would be so horrifying for the woman. Basically a legal form of mental torture. Not to mention when the kid grows up, if they ever find out the real story. The British partition of Ireland and their occupation of the 6 Irish counties. Elected public politicians not having a fiduciary duty to their legislative body. Animated video billboards at the side of highways. Legislators voting on bills they haven't read. Infant circumcision. It's a permanent operation done without the infant's consent. And before people claim religion, it's allowed in many religions to beat rape wives. But that's illegal. Infants deserve the same rights everyone else does. Paparazzi? Seriously, it's legal. Paid stalking. Charging different people different prices for the same services, especially in the same neighborhood community, and jacking the price up for internet only when I don't want a bundle. I'm talking to you cable companies. Edit. Corrected misspelling. Bullfighting. It's legal in my country. If I decided to shove a metal pole in any other animal, it would be illegal. Why should bulls endure that? Eminent domain. These days often used by well-connected rich people to seize land from poorer people for commercial projects. Politicians receiving money from corporations and churches. We need politicians who are there to serve the people. Sneaking completely irrelevant laws into other bills since they wouldn't pass on their own. Allah the Cloud Bill.